as great democracies with shared values and commitments, with our comparative strengths and advantages, with our vast human resources and intellect, the capacity to innovate, capacity to assimilate technologies, which today India has, and America is a global leader. So what will underpin this partnership is not only the cultural exchange, not only the understanding between the political leaders, but also an embrace of all those sectors which define and justify the use of the word strategic partnership, from space science to nuclear science, from education to agriculture. It's a vast field, and we are engaged in each one of them. But also in assimilating cutting-edge technologies and together developing new technologies which will define the new global order when we grapple with many a challenge which the world faces. That's what we are seeking to do together. And here I have to mention, there are many fields, but energy security is important, so is food security. And this country recognized the value of investing in a partnership with India, a country which is a mature democracy with impeccable credentials and record. When we negotiated the Civilian Nuclear Energy Cooperation Agreement and India returned to the global mainstream, that was a defining moment in July 2008. Mr. Mago, you, many of the Indian diaspora campaigned and lobbied with the congressman at the Hill that the time has come for them to shed any reservations, inhibitions, and embrace a country which has all the promise for the future. We acknowledge United States of America, wisdom, its steadfast support, and the people of India will always appreciate that. But as I refer to the linkages that we are developing, is not something which is merely give and take. Yes, trade is good, investments are good. It's a two-way process. 88 billion is the trade last year in goods and services between the United States of America and India. Potential is to do much more. It is well below potential. America is investing in India because we are a land of limitless opportunities today and one of the most favored destinations. But Indians are also investing. That has to be recognized. Indian industry has gained in confidence ever since we embarked on the path of liberalization in 1991. And the architect was none other than the present Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was then the Finance Minister of India. So much has changed. There were references in Chicago that in the last 10 years, India's national income has trebled. Yes, in the next decade, we'll do more than trebling it. We are confident. But that has helped us to invest resources, redistribute them. Creation of wealth is one. Sharing is another one. Redistribution for the benefit of the entire society is something which is our philosophy and guiding principle. Hundreds of millions Indians have been empowered. Even in the last 1 decade, so much has happened, which I, in my lifetime, would not have imagined will happen. And much more is happening. I was just asking, standing on the desk, just to refresh my memory, as to where we are. To give you a few examples, in the present 5 years, which we are going to complete soon, India is investing, which is already there, $550 billion in its infrastructure. In the next 5 years, it will be $1 trillion only on infrastructure. When you talk of energy, it's the entire sector, not only the conventional sources of energy, but the renewable sources of energy. We are one of the global leaders in solar energy, in wind energy. We have kick-started a national mission of 20 gigawatts in another 10 years in solar energy, 25 gigawatts in nuclear energy by 2020, 63 gigawatts by 2030, and much more. It is happening. When you look at other areas, our electronic hardware industry will be worth 400 billion within this decade. IT industry will be 225 billion within this decade. We are the 6th largest auto manufacturer in the world. We produced close to 15 million motor vehicles last year. In two-wheelers, we are the 2nd largest in the world. In tractor farm equipment manufacturing, India is the largest in the world. There are many others examples where we are today acknowledged for our leadership, including what the ladies like a lot, and the men also grudgingly have to accept it: gold, diamonds, and jewelry. Insatiable appetite. When I look at the figures, our official gold reserves may put India 10th in the world, but unofficially, we are by far the biggest. Because I'm not referring to the undeclared ones. That even I don't know. But the declared ones, as we call them in legal terms, above the ground holdings, is 19,000 tons of gold alone. That's above the ground, legal. Rest you can guess. Now, for diamonds, do you know that for every 6 diamonds which are produced in the world, 5 come to the Indian hands? That's the strength of the industry. So the range is huge, from space sciences to nuclear sciences, from diamond to gold, and you can keep on naming. But there's another sector which has enormous potential for people to engage with India, and that's agriculture. This country has strengths. India is seeking to create an entire value chain. We are the 2nd largest producer of food grains in the world, 2nd largest of fruits and vegetables, largest milk producer. But our post-harvest losses are very high. We are investing in technologies for agro-processing and food processing. So please go and talk among yourselves and to others. This region is home to a large number of multinationals which are already engaged with India to do more than what they have done so far. But Indian industry too has gained so much in confidence that they've stepped out and invested in other countries. More than 125 billion, the numbers keep on changing, so subject to correction, is what Indian industry has invested overseas. And I told you that we have invested more in this country. We have created more jobs in America than perhaps any other partner in the recent history of this country. We are welcoming of investments and the multinationals from this great country. Close to half of the Fortune 500 companies seek their software solution from India. Close to 200 have established bases in India. This is very important to recognize, because they acknowledge then the strength of each other and how rewarding and beneficial the partnership can be. There is one myth. I was reading on the plane also a recent article. I'll spare the author by not mentioning the name. And this is about the jobs, losses or creation. If our professionals have traveled to work here in the IT sector, there's one sector where India leapfrogged to become a global leader. Let's not forget that India had to do it for itself, for the rest of the developing world, to bridge the great technological divide which came after the Industrial Revolution. We have achieved that. We have bridged the gap. We have straddled it to ensure that we are a global leader today in leading technologies and a credible partner for that. But they have brought with them values. I always talk to my interlocutors, including my dear friend. I have two counterparts in America. Ron Kirk, who was the mayor of Dallas, and good friend. And now the Commerce Secretary. Gary Locke is sitting in Beijing now as US Ambassador. So the Commerce Secretary and the UST are my two counterparts. I don't know whether they have a dedicated textile minister. Pardon my ignorance. And I tell them that these sons and daughters of India have done us proud and the world proud. When the world was struggling at the turn of the century, how to fight the Y2K bug, where did the professionals came from? All the countries sought Indian IT professionals, without exception, in 1999. Let's not forget history. The way India is developing, these highly qualified professionals will just not be available easily. India will need them more. But if there have been jobs outsourced, those are commercial decisions which businesses have made. And there's a myth that we have taken away jobs. There was a study which I refer to my colleagues, and particularly during President's visit, which I must say was respectfully acknowledged by Professor Selinger of the Truck School of Business. Please read that. For every single job outsourced, 2 higher value jobs have been created in the mother company and in the country. And in 10 years, 2.8 million jobs were outsourced, 5.6 million jobs were created. Even if I have to give you, there is a long list of examples. But what we engage, it's always a mutually rewarding partnership. If Indian companies have placed orders, the government of India has placed orders. Just to give the example of Boeing, the largest number of aircraft orders have been placed by India. In the last 5 years, 25 billion, this means 250,000 jobs we have created just by placing the order for the planes, because $1 billion creates 10,000 jobs. So, ladies and gentlemen, particularly those who are leaders in their respective profession, when you meet your congressman, for whom we have highest of respect, tell them that do not make it difficult for our professionals, for our business leaders to travel, to come and work. I always say so, and I'll be doing so tomorrow when I meet my counterparts in Washington. And lastly, I would like to tell those who have been recognized for their work, particularly Shri Bose, the young schoolgirl. She has truly done herself, her family, her institution, each one of you, and all of us proud. So my very good wishes to her, and like her, to other children, American, Indian Americans, because they are the stakeholders in future. Like back home, we have over 700 million young people. They are the ones who are going to make us achieve our dreams, realize our hopes, and make this world a better place. Thank you.